was caught in the crossfire.
I got a boat, and they were turned up. They were turned up, and somebody fell out of their boat.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Vanessa XIX, and this is Melanated Television. Melanated Television is a platform to have lip service, but also to promote awareness, to bring the community together so we can get active in our community, heal in our community, create resources for ourselves, all that good stuff. So today, I wanted to have a conversation due to just a lot of experience and things that I see in our community, and that's mainly what I do for the most part. So I want these young ladies to introduce themselves.
I'm Shalise. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, I'm Kendra. I'm owner and operator of Soul Life, that's Saving Our Ladies Life Incorporated. It's a foundation that helps women advocate for their education and financial freedom. You can follow me on Facebook at Soul Life on my business page, or you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Kendra Rochelle.
I also meant to mention that I am writing children's books. I have a cleaning business. I'm into entrepreneurship and generational wealth. Giving our babies something to have when we leave this earth, how to survive in this world, because I believe it's only going to get worse. So, yes, I want to be a mother to all. So today we're going to talk about baby mamas and baby daddies, and we're going to talk about how, it's a lot of dysfunction. A lot of broken homes, joint homes, fathers thinking they fathers and they really not fathers, mothers having to do everything on their own. So I want to talk about that, get into that, and see how these ladies, maybe their personal experiences or just how they feel. Maybe they don't feel the way I feel. So
Everybody definitely has different stories, so we probably won't all feel the same way, but pretty sure we can understand and empathize.
Well, I'll just say, as far as the baby daddy and baby mama, earlier on the first podcast, somebody made a comment about the term baby mama, baby daddy, and I really do feel like it's one of those tropes that's pushed in the black community. Not saying that they're not a real thing, it's just that not everybody is a baby mama and not everybody's a baby daddy. When you come across people who are doing the bare minimum by the children that they created and presenting that as parenting or, a family, then yeah, that's problematic, because somebody is left carrying the bag. Somebody's left with an uneven amount of burden on them when it comes to rearing children and hosting the family. But I don't think everybody's a baby mama, baby daddy. I think it all boils down to co-parenting, the things that you should and should not be doing, and I think it's a lot of gray area when it comes to people, when it comes to co-parenting. Like, have y'all seen that meme floating around? I saw it on Twitter first. I'm a Twitter head, so I know a lot of y'all are probably too young and probably on Facebook or which y'all be using now, TikTok?
I'm disconnected. I chime in on a couple of them periodically, but I'm disconnected. I'm old school.
Facebook, I know everybody's on Facebook. Facebook.
Right. Well, there was a thread going around talking about how a lot of people would be shocked to realize that their father wasn't really active in their home. It was a matter of their mom giving up sex. And I know from my own personal experience and some of the women that are close to me, a lot of times when it comes to having a bitter baby father or somebody who is malicious towards you that you have children with, a lot of that comes from them being upset because they can't control you or they can't have sex with you or whatever the case may be. And so a lot of times, like, if you are an industrious woman or somebody who can get it out the mud, make your own bag, he can't control you financially. He can't hold child support over your head. So, oh, you want me to come to little Duke's birthday party? Well, I need to spend the night. Or I can't come over there unless, you can drop them draws. And it turns into one of those situations where that's like sexual maltreatment. Like, why do I gotta give you something for you to be in your child's life?
Right.
So you saying that not everybody is a baby mama or a baby daddy. What is a baby mama and a baby daddy?
Okay. I done seen, I ain't gonna say I done seen it a lot. I didn't know that there were deadbeat baby mamas until I moved to Louisville. No offense to none of you Louisvillians, but dating some of the men here and coming across like the amount of men who were dealing with women with CPS charges, who were dealing with neglect charges, who were dealing with like issues of a woman simply not willing to take care of their child and being those hobosexuals where they really don't have a place to live and bouncing from men to men so they can take care. That's a baby mama. That's somebody who is going to use your child against you every chance that she can get. I think you fall into the baby mama, baby daddy category when you do not have the child's best interest at heart, when you decide to put your feelings ahead of what's best for your child, then you become a baby daddy, then you become a baby mama. Because there are a lot of men who do it, there are a lot of women who do it, and there are a lot of people who just chose to move on, but they're being trapped in this situation where it's like, well, it's too late to have an abortion. We 8 years in and you still acting like a fucking psycho. What do we do with this information?
Right, right.
Yes, I personally have an experience with men, well, not with myself, I don't know what y'all thinking, I'm just dealing with, but I personally had experience just talking to men, seeing men, like you were saying, that they feel like their father just because they have the children, but most of the time either the mama's watching them or they're dropping them off over somebody's house, or even when their children are with them, they're ignoring their children, they're not reading to them, they're not raising them up in no type of way, they're not having patience. It's just, a lot of men are just baby factories. They get their kids and neglect them. So I think that me personally, I am a woman who has been hit by the ain't shit baby daddy. I feel like a lot of us have growing up. I've seen more than not of women who's had solid, stable men in the homes. And I think that has been a community issue for sure. So I just want to know, like, as Black women, you know, who have blended families, how do you have a healthy balance with the fathers, or, you know what I'm saying, just how to where your children have that healthy balance? I know we all come from all different situations of how we became mothers. So how do you, you know what I'm saying, have that balance? How do you create a healthy environment for your children, whether their fathers are there or not?
Okay, I'll speak on that. My situation is probably different from some, maybe not all. My husband and I have our children. We don't have children together. So I had a family and he had a family, you know, separately when we came together. My kid's dad, laid back, much older than me. So I kind of believe that's why we don't have issues, you know, when it comes to him seeing other people, him seeing other people. We don't do it. We're actually really good friends. My husband's baby mama, and I'm gonna say baby mama because as we just discussed, baby mamas and mothers, they two different lanes. Well, she was a baby mama, typical baby mama stuff. The child support, the using the child as a pawn, the drum not picking the phone, all the disrespect. That she was one of them, and that is what conflicted with us. Basically, having well, I wouldn't say functional family, but we had issues because of that. It was a huge imbalance. Kids falling apart, not seeing each other, people's feelings getting hurt, just all kinds of drama, arguments, and toxic things, right? So it took, if everybody's not on one accord, I'm gonna tell you now, it's really nothing you can do about it. You just gotta pray and just continue to try to do the right thing so that the children don't suffer, because that's what it's gonna be. And then everybody's gonna be statistics, you know. It's just another broken household and stuff, so. I just took the lead in that and redirected everybody.
For my particular situation, I think the reason I'm so good and established with the co-parenting now is because it took a lot of years of training my baby's father in that type of fashion. When we first split up, it was a lot of hostility over the fact that I had absolved the relationship. There were a lot of issues with him trying to use the child against me as far as being like, oh, I can't come see him because I got stuff to do, or, you know, I can't contribute financially because I got this and the third going on, which was fine. It's like if you don't have it, you don't have it, but at the same time, don't pose it like I don't also have a life and I don't also have to be out here working and providing for our child. So once we got on the court with that, I found it very interesting. Like he was in a relationship like fairly quickly after we broke up. Didn't really matter to me. I thought it was gonna cause him to be a little bit better towards, you know, the breakup than he was. But it was actually interesting for him to find out that I was dating other people and for him to still be reactive to that emotionally. And it's like, we are years past that. We have, you know, both been in different relationships since then, but now that I'm in a committed relationship with a blended family, that was something I had to stress to him, like the schedules have to line up. I have 2 stepchildren that are in the home every other weekend, so the youngest one is the only one who's a full-time child. The other 3 are splitting their time between somebody else's home and our home. So, you know, it doesn't really take a lot of work as long as the people who have their task handle their task. Like if you do
And
what you're supposed to
everybody gotta be.
right,
I have
everybody
that
got to be on the
understanding.
same page. Everybody
Yes.
has to be in accordance with the schedule. Everybody has to understand that there are between everybody approximately 9 birthdays that have to be celebrated.
Right.
There are holidays that come up. Although I don't celebrate holidays, my fiance's family does. So all of those things are taken into consideration when
It
it
has
comes
to
to
be.
family planning and family
It has to be.
management. And I think a lot of times when you have issues with the co-parenting side of it, people don't realize that when there's a breakdown in the family structure, like you said, Shalice, it's ultimately going to affect the child.
Yeah.
Because when you work with children like I do in the Head Start profession, I see it all the time, like when children's families go through breakups or when a child is having to go spend the night at dad's house. They don't usually spend time with dad. They come to school acting out, wanting attention, and behaving in a way that you're like, you know, this isn't like you. Like you see it in the child from a teacher perspective. So I know within a home when that is happening, you see it at home too.
Absolutely. Yes, I can agree with that, Miss Kendra, because I've been with my husband for some years now, and our families was truly blended. You know what I'm saying? The kids are very much siblings. You would never know that all of them don't come from me. I got 3 boys, he got 1 son. I mean, 1 daughter. My mom was baby. But yes, when we went through, because we've been separated a couple times, you know, marriages go through things. Whenever we went through our first one and even the second one, there won't be any more. That I didn't realize the impact that would have on the children. I mean, mind you, they were exposed to some stuff, you know, that I'm not too proud of, but you know, we talked through it. However, for the most part, we weren't just wilding out all crazily in front of the kids. I'm not thinking that because we're separated and, you know, living in 2 different homes, things that our kids are gonna notice. And they did start to like act out in school and things, and you know, me going through my own stuff because I'm the victim. I feel in the situation. I'm thinking about me. I'm thinking that my kids are not aware. You know what I'm saying? But next thing you know, they're in school having trouble. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? I can't even agree on, you know, so, but they did. They started to act out, and I definitely, you know, we had to clean that up. So, yes, that makes a difference.
So, I think that one of the biggest things with me also is just my having to forgive myself for putting myself in in these situations.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I think that a lot of us can share this in common. Like, my white friends, majority of them are married, you know, they have a good foundation financially, great things instilled in them. Like I say, I do not compare myself, but it's more so you see what is good.
Culturally acceptable.
Yes, culturally acceptable, what is culturally healing, good for them. I don't think that we have something that is culturally acceptable. So, like I said, having to forgive myself and how we all have, you know what I'm saying, like, the fact that we even have to co-parent, the fact that we even have to be in these situations, it's like, we're good people. We're good. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, you think you're a good person. We think we're good people, but it's just like, the way we were raised, we've been so conditioned to be a certain type of way that we're not aware of the bad decisions that we make, and I think that is culturally and not just individually. It's like a cultural thing. So a lot of us have to deal with the broken families and having to send the kid here every weekend, and then the father's not doing at least 50-50 of what they, you know what I'm saying, holding up that same end of the bargain. A lot of men think that they're good fathers, like I said, because they get their kids, but it's not that 50-50. Making sure that they're happy, healthy, taking them to school. A lot of men are not that.
I think our good brother Steve Harvey covered it the best. I think it was on the morning show about 2 years ago. He said that when it comes to being in a relationship with a woman, having a family with a woman, it's never going to be 50-50. Like, women ultimately carry the burden spiritually, the physical, the emotional side of the family. If you're only providing for your household financially, you're already not doing 50-50. So for you to do anything less than contribute to cleaning the home or contribute to doing homework or picking up after children, then you are making her fight an unwinnable battle.
Yes, I believe that it's not supposed to be 50-50. I'm more traditional. That's what I came up around, you know, and that's how I believe, you know, it should be. I believe that women mothers are designed to do and be certain things than fathers are. The loads are not going to be the same. Now, these days, yes, you know, we can do just as much as men, but I feel like that's not the natural order of things. So that's why people's like, you know, you gotta, you know, give me 50-50-50. I personally don't believe in that. I take care of the home. I do it better. You know, I'm more the domestic leader in my household. in my household. My husband goes to work. He pays all the bills. Takes care of, the yard, the vehicles. He's at all the games. You know what I'm saying? He does that part. I personally believe he's out there with boys getting dirty and stuff like that. That ain't my role. That's not my place. I'm in there in the kitchen, making sure our house is decorated and it's a home, it's loving, it's welcoming. I believe that's my position. I have been in positions though where I had to do both, and it is hard. It's hard, it's upsetting, it's frustrating. But that just further made me realize that I just feel like it's not supposed to be this way. I'm not saying women shouldn't go to school, get degrees, become this, that, and the third, and cause do that, yes. But I just feel like respect the position of a woman, a mother, and a wife. We are designed to be at home breastfeeding our babies when it's time and cleaning up our home and cooking food, in my spiritual opinion. We're designed to be at home with our kids.
Well, I
It's not gonna be 50.
personally ascribe to that particular way of being a woman. I think there are lots of different ways to
Absolutely.
be a woman.
Yeah.
I know that there are, like, historically speaking, goddesses that were
Absolutely.
warriors and different things that also had homes and families and things of that nature. And I think a lot of times what you run into nowadays is when it comes to the whole baby daddy, baby mama, a lot of men will say things like, oh, well, she was too independent for me, or I couldn't lead her. And I really feel like if you are a leader and you are a man in a position to lead a woman, then you should do just that. It does not
That is
require
our position.
submission to be a leader. Great leaders inspire people to follow them. They do not bend people's will to follow them. So a lot of times when you are a woman like myself who is industrious, like when I met let me give context. I was married before I got with my oldest son's dad, so I have been married and divorced, and I'm engaged to be married again. So it's not like I'm just out here, not looking for love and trying to be committed to somebody. But anyways, my husband, my first husband, our marriage was dissolved. This man met me while I was in school, knew that I was in school working on 2 degrees, and at some point while he was deployed, got PTSD and told me that I needed to drop out of school and have his babies because he might die in the war and he needs a legacy. And I was like, well, after I graduate, I'm in my junior year, after I graduate from college, yeah, we can plan for having children and things like that. And then for you to be trying to force a pregnancy, like telling me, like, when I come home on R&R, you need to be off your birth control, be detox so I can get you pregnant. So, like, not only do you plan on dying on me, so I have to raise this child alone, but you want me to go through my pregnancy alone. I'm in the state of Kentucky going to college. My whole family's in Texas. You're from New York. Your family's not here. You're deployed in the military right now, but you want me to drop out of school and be pregnant right now for you. Like, do you hear yourself as my head of household? Where are you leading me? Into destruction, into disaster.
Sure.
Like, you sound crazy. So when I met my son's father, it was really one of those things where it's like me trying to hold on to what a family looks like. Like, this is a really funny thing. I always believe in synchronicities and things popping up again and again, karmic cycles and whatnot. My ex-husband and my oldest child's dad both have the same birthday, and it was the craziest thing to me. I was just like, damn. So this is something I'm bound to repeat until I learn the lesson from it. And the lesson that I learned was you cannot be with men that are trying to break your will. And in my experience, as a woman who has a child with somebody, like, a lot of it, he got to the end of the relationship saying, one, he didn't know how we got here. Then he was telling people that I was unwavering in the things that, when he was trying to be better and do better, I was unwavering and I was already gone. And then tried to act like we were just on a break. Like, oh, you're still mine and still trying to control me. So, like, even when we're not together, you're still trying to control me. That was the most toxic situation I had ever been in, and it taught me a lot about how men and women deal with each other, how men and women deal with breakups, and how men and women define their roles in relationships. Because he was one of those ones that ascribed to, I'm a man, so I'm the head of household, even though I was more industrious and I made more money. And it's like, you want a household manager, but you can't even manage a household.
Yeah, he's confused.
So I can say this may be a little left, but I think that I know that we have excellent black women and black men. A lot of us excellent black women run into I would say more than not, of people you gotta raise, you gotta teach things to. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just something in us, that God quality in us, that some of the men have yet to tap into.
They pray on it. I honestly believe, like, when men come after women like us, like those broken men coming after women who are stepping in their divine purpose, that are trying to be excellent mothers, that are trying to excel in their visions that they have. When they see women like that, they see it as a challenge. How can I get her?
Yeah.
How can I break her spirit? Because she wouldn't otherwise mess with a man like me. And I think it's crazy because you see it so often when, for one, let me just say, I think everybody deserves love. Like whether you're a hood nigga, whether you're an ex-con,
We are
whatever.
human.
Everybody deserves love.
Be equally yoked. Don't be trying to step to somebody and break her spirit and try to change.
Sometimes that's what people are taught about. They don't know no better.
Yeah,
some men get women off of other women. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas get bitches off of hanging with certain women.
That's definitely a thing.
Some of these,
those
I'm
are
not
energy
saying all.
vampires.
I'm not
If
saying
you
all.
are okay with being an energy vampire, that's on you. Because an energy vampire,
You ain't gonna get no wife.
I've seen it so many times, like girls fucking with niggas, not because they even want a man, but because they want to absorb the energy of the bitch that he got, of the woman that he's sleeping with, of the woman that he got on his arm. So if you are a man and you are prone to attracting energy vampires, and it really says a lot about your energy and how you vibrating.
Absolutely.
So I think that I see why some black men and black women date outside their race. I do. Now, me as a black woman, I never would because I have faith in our black men. I have a black daughter. I have black brothers. My dad, you know what I'm saying? That is who I am.
I definitely want to.
So I got to make sure I continue to lift them up, love them, and give them what they need. And I can't do that if I'm, I have a mission. God put us here for a mission. So, but I do see why they do that because I think the more than not just have this broken mindset, this lack of self-control, lack of morals.
I think the whole baby mama and baby daddies, I think like the fact that people don't realize that there is some on both sides, it talks to like how do you get to being better? I guess that's the thing I want to know. It's like how can you identify when you being better? Because there are some things that I've heard people say that they've done to people that they've had kids with, and I'm like, baby, you was coming from a hurt place. Like you were absolutely angry. And I said this before and I'll say it again, but I think anytime you are in a family or in a relationship with somebody, if you break up that family and you're not upset about it, you're not sad about it, then you and that person shouldn't have been starting a family together. You and that person shouldn't have been together. Like there should be some hurt and pain that comes from realizing, oh, I have to break this family up. Like if you are out here making families because like you see it all the time with these NBA players, they get with these women, they date them, and then the woman gets pregnant and divorces him a month later. It's like she was doing that as a come up. She ain't sad about the divorce. She ain't upset about the divorce. Like she was looking forward to being a baby mama. So it's like when you are looking at that,
they never win.
That's the telltale sign. Like, are you happy about this? Are you in glee because your family is being destroyed?
They never win. I'm telling you. I don't care if they're rich, if they're average class, they never win. Notice they always got some sort of issue, whether they in court fighting, whether the kid wants. They always got some sort of issue. It's just not the right way or the natural. And there's no moral to that. There's no moral to that. You should want to have a family. You should be sad if your family falls apart. Yeah. We see it through the kids, like you said earlier.
And I do believe that, I still believe to this day, and we all should believe this, that systematically there has been something that has broken the structure, taken a lot out of just our people, our culture. I believe that, and it's like, okay, now that we know that, we're strong. I feel like, opposition hits the strongest people, hits the strongest ones. Any attempts that Black Americans have attempted to have power or risen, it was always a threat to the majority of society.
White supremacy.
So I think that we are powerful enough to defy the odds. Some of us do, but a lot of us don't. And I think that once we defy those odds, even though we've made our mistakes, I just don't want to pass it down to the future generations of children. So being single mothers and single fathers, or having blended households, or children just knowing like, children are so smart, so they know when a parent's not there, they know when mom's not there, dad's not there. So in a lot of those situations, like how do you create self-esteem in those children? How do you make sure that they grow up healed?
It's a matter of the parents getting out of their feelings. They gotta stop attacking each other because they're not on one accord. You really do have to figure out.
There's not a parent there to attack. Like, let's say that parent's gone. Like,
it's not easy, okay? I don't know making it sound way, easier said than done, but you really have to figure out a way to not expose your child to that. If they see that the father's physically not here, then, you know, just love on your child a little more. Keep them close. Try to redirect their attention. You know, that's what I would do. That's what I have done.
I think teaching emotional intelligence is really the best way to help a child through family transitions. In my experience, like I am in a position where my oldest child, he watched my family transition from like his dad and I together with him and the family to me being single to me now being in, you know, a 4-child, 2-parent household with his stepdad. But then on the other side, his dad is also engaged to a woman that he's been with since he was 2, and they're having a child. So it's like his family has changed in every way imaginable, on every side imaginable, and he is a very emotional child. So because he's a boy, I often get that, oh, you shouldn't let him cry, you shouldn't let him da-da-da-da. And I was like, no, he's going to feel what he feels, and I'm going to help him understand what he feels. So a lot of times when he goes through those...
Position is mothers.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm like, it's never going to be equal. We're designed to emotionally protect and teach our children.
Exactly.
I think fathers are incapable, but it's more that we naturally have that for our children.
As black mothers with boys, do you think that a black woman can teach a black boy how to be a man?
No woman can teach any boy how to be a man.
So there is a statistic that there's just a narrative that a lot of black men say is that single black mothers destroy their sons.
I think, yeah, they do.
I think they do.
They do. If you do not have emotional intelligence and you don't know how to build a support system around your child, what often ends up happening is emotional incest. A lot of times a woman who is a single woman for a very long time in a toxic situation, she will raise her child up to be the man that she thinks is a great man, but then she doesn't see that anybody is good enough or special enough for her child to be with. I've seen it plenty of times. When you hear that whole, oh, you shouldn't date a mama's boy, that's where that comes from, because a lot of times those women who have mama's boys coddle their sons and raise them to be emasculated in the sense that they rely on a woman to do all the domestic work and to do all of the manual labor and emotional labor in a relationship, because that's what his mama did for him. And then you have people like, oh, I need a woman that can cook, that can clean, just like my mama. Well, like, if you wanted to date your mama, just say that.
That's what it turns out being. So that.
I agree.
And like it was saying earlier that we don't promote family counseling a lot.
Yes.
We don't promote that because it is a lot going on. But I definitely don't think a lot of people want help or want that
Well, like Ms.
counseling.
Kendra said, there is family therapy, but what I feel is that there should be co-parenting therapy, because we grown, we done made our decisions, we know stuff. It's these kids that's going to have to, you know, suffer through all of this. So I feel like you don't have to be with your baby daddy or your baby mother. Mother of your children is what I would like to say, or father of your children. But y'all still a family now. Y'all can still go to seek therapy, because people are, you know, they sad, they mad, they bitter, whatever, you know. So they're gonna act out of that emotion. So get some
Sometimes you
help.
gotta
for the
heal
child.
apart so you can come together, though. Like
True. And that's
they
personal
do
therapy.
offer the family therapy. Like there are different dynamics that you can have. You can have the blended family, psychodynamic therapy, and all those things like that. But if it's a matter of the people are not ready to heal and the people are not ready to move forward in that fashion, then there will be no healing in the community. And I think that's the scariest thing to realize, like, because we're so ingrained and so knee deep in the patriarchy and the way that misogyny was taught to people, there are so many women out here that believe that they're supposed to be doing it alone, so they do it alone because they saw other women do it alone. And then you have men that were raised by single mothers who were doing it alone, so they expect for women to do it alone. So then you have on both sides people repeating this cycle over and over for generation to generation, when in reality everybody has to heal and break their own cycles and their own karma curses and whatever the case may be. Because when you task women with being the ones to heal the community, or you task men solely as the ones healing the community, there is always going to be a discord, and there's always going to be a matter of resistance and people fighting against it because you don't tell me what to do. But it's like, if we all just take the time to heal on our own and then come together to be families and united as a community, it'll be better for everybody. Because at the end of the day, my children, the 4 of them, they have a community of parents. There are 6 parents between the 3 couples that have the 6 kids. So it's like, at the end of the day, everybody has to contribute to the well-being of these children. Everybody has to contribute to
everybody has to be on one accord. Absolutely.
We are a village in and of ourselves, and then everybody
I
that we bring
experienced
in
it. I know.
better.
I know. I just feel like it's not promoted enough within our community. I feel like we don't believe in that. It's not a normal thing for us to.
Community days.
People are in their feelings. They feel like I don't want to such and such because you still in your feelings. Like you got to put your pride. I personally believe the boys in pride. Put your pride to the side. It's not about control. It's not about who won or lost. It's about what we can do to live functionally because we're a blended family and there's children that are looking up to us. That's not throwing no jabs at anybody, but I had to be the leader in that with my experience. My husband, our outside children, and his baby mama. I had to step. I had to look. This is what we're about to do. This is what we're about to do, and this is how it's gonna be. Because I'm not. I mean, we all got our insecurities and stuff. I'm just not a jealous girl personally. If we done moved on, or if she got your child, if he got my baby, all this, I don't worry about all that. I feel like there's a lot of jealousy and competition when it comes
to your stepmom's house, tell her you wear a size 10 shoe or
5'10" because that's how I'm coming. Oh, child, ain't no baby left behind in my household. If this is my baby, by step-in-law, whatever, they gonna be taken care of as if they are my own. That's just me. I'm a natural nurturer and I'm a traditional woman. This is what I saw my grandmother and my mama do. Granted, they both have businesses and work and things of that nature, but they were women at home with their kids, and they weren't doing all the outside drama. My mama didn't have baby mama drama, not as far as I'm concerned. My grandmother was married to my grandfather since I was probably before I was born. I just think the difference. I see the difference in when everybody's on one accord and when everybody's not. Unfortunately, we experience a lot more of that dysfunction today.
Discord, absolutely.
And it is hard. It's incredibly challenging, and it affects the children. It breaks up the family. But hold your head. And I took the lead. I had to straighten that out. It's not how I want to live. That's not what I want for my children. Because what are you teaching them at the end of the day?
Bottom line, too, I just think that we just need to raise a generation of healthy, whole children. Since it's like we want to bring this awareness, but people don't be listening to you when you saying what's real. They only want to hear the drama. They only want to hear the negativity. But
that's society.
They don't
really
uplift
in
to things that they really need to hear. Because I don't want my daughter to grow up and go through the trials and tribulations that I went through with just finding my way in this world. I want her to have some true guidance. I honestly didn't find guidance until I was 18 years old and I started reading a book of wisdom like that. I found guidance on my own. My dad, he did try to instill that in me because I did grow up with a single mother. So he did try to instill that in me, and that was a blessing from God, honestly, because if he wasn't there, I wouldn't have gotten it nowhere else. So I just want to right my wrongs, and I know that at this point, with a lot of us, it just is what it is. Just is what it is. So I can't continue to cry about it. I just want to make sure that I can do what I need to do for my daughter, for our community, for just uplifting us. And even if this person is down and out, but they're still trying to continue to uplift those people who are trying. And
I think that's another thing that contributes to the whole bitter conversation too, because when you were trying to do it better and be better and give your children better than you had, then there are a lot of parents or a lot of adults who cannot accept that. Like, they're jealous of the fact, like, these children are going to live better lives than I had. These children are going to have a safer space than I had to express themselves emotionally, to express their opinions, to be seen and to be heard, because we grew up in a generation where children were never to be seen or heard. Like, you were supposed to be outside playing all day or in the back of the house with the rest of the kids all night. So it's one of those things, like, when I was co-parenting and trying to teach how that there's a different side, there's a way that we can heal and be better parents than we had. And that's not even to say that we had bad parents. Right. It's just that when you know better, you do better. So when you do try to do better, you will come across people that are angry and still holding on to the fact, like you just said, that things happen to them and their past is this and their trauma is that. And it's like, my child won't have that. My child won't experience that. My child will not know that, because I'm going to be the barrier between you and that child, so you're not instilling that in them. And it's hard because a lot of times you get people pointing the finger or playing the blame game, talking about someone, you should have chose better, you should have chose better. In a lot of situations, like, I was with my oldest son's dad for 5 years. Every 7 years, you're a different person. So 5 years, y'all don't think he was almost a new person? You think he was the same thing? But I do also think like the way that he acted taught me a lot, and it created a space for me to be bitter and to be angry. So we should play a little game. Have y'all ever heard the put a finger down or the 5-finger challenge?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna play the bitter baby mama edition. We're gonna see how many
And
times
keep it real.
we have been bitter to the people that were in our lives. Okay, are y'all ready? Put a finger
As far as baby
down.
mama and baby daddy, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We were trying to see how bitter the ladies on the screen on the panel can get. Put a finger down if you have ever destroyed property. Y'all are bad.
You gotta turn your finger up a little bit.
Put a finger down if you have ever done a drive-by or stalked his location because he said he was somewhere and he wasn't where he was supposed to be.
Well, I don't know if it's because he said, but I do remember days that I've done that.
Not the
For
drive-by.
whatever reason.
Did you have a partner in crime on the drive-by?
Yes. Every time. I ain't gonna lie.
Put a finger down if you've ever broken into his home because he did not answer the phone.
That has never been a circumstance for me, but I feel like if it came down to it, I would probably. But
Put a finger down if you ever put your hands on your baby daddy. Y'all are horrible.
let me tell you, I was always provoked. I've never been one to just pull up and act a
We're
fool.
gonna tell stories at the end of the game. Hold on. Okay. I gotta think. Somebody think of something. What's something bitter baby mamas do?
Put a finger down if you, but I don't think no. Put a finger down if you were ever bitter because your baby daddy moved on.
Oh no, kick you down.
Okay, I got one. Put a finger down if you've ever used your child as a pawn because you were still in your feelings.
Oh no. My brain going. Put a finger down if you've ever called him repeatedly 5 times or more.
I'm trying to think of a juicy question. Something, you know.
Put a finger down if you ever beat up one of your baby daddy's girlfriends or.
Because I'm not proud of that. That's not for me. I'm going to tell y'all now. We'll get back to our questions. I'm going to keep it brief. But I really am a lover. I love everybody. I want to get along. I care about
she beat a bitch up.
Don't listen. I'm not proud. I didn't listen. I'm gonna make this clear. I did not beat the girl up. I popped her like once or twice before it got broken up. And I'm not proud of that because I love everybody. I really genuinely am a lover, not a fighter.
Come on with your put a finger down. What you gonna say? Say it. Put a finger down.
I did put the finger down.
No, you tell us what to do.
I'm trying to think of something juicy. If someone thinks of something, go ahead.
I mean, you about to lose, so it's like you could just say one that's just gonna make you put your finger down.
What you
Yeah.
got?
Put a finger down if you ever went through your baby daddy's phone.
I don't think I did. I don't do all of it. I ain't gonna stand. I'm laid back. I don't go through phones. I don't do that.
Put a finger down if you ever got your lick back, but put a finger down if you ever got your lick back, but still played the "Oh, I'm so hurt" when you found out he was cheating.
That's funny. Because I feel like naturally you are gonna be hurt. It's not like you saying it's the truth.
I'm not gonna lie.
Second question again.
I'm out.
What did you say, Kenny?
I said, you already got your lick back, but when you
still
catch
hurt.
him up and some stuff, you be like, how could you?
Yeah.
How would you?
So stop trying to hold your little pinky.
Because I'm trying to think of a time. I really can't think of a
Close
time.
that fist.
Let me tell you something. Real talk. I promise you. I got a lot of pride. I feel like I'm the cool kid. So certain things I just can't bring myself to do. No, because I don't believe that happened to me. You want me to close my pinky so bad.
All right. Y'all should be equally
No, because I'm not. Some of that crazy stuff I ain't did.
See?
But my crazy necessarily wasn't due to
It's
bitterness. It was just due to get my lick back. Majority of the time.
Yeah.
Lick back. Not really bitter. So
But
I've
I
done
honestly
it. I've
think
done it.
that's something that a lot of women like. When the women are taking care of the children, I hate the whole argument about being bitter because I do think we all go through a bitter phase. Like initially, when you are taking on the whole burden and doing everything, you're like, this nigga really got over on me.
It's all right enough. We
So
feel like
you'll
we
get
deserve
angry.
it.
But men's bitterness is a whole different ball game. They be
They
bitter
got
because
pride.
you glowed up. They be bitter because you moved on and they don't have access. They be bitter because even though she asked you for money for the shoes, the child still got the shoes that you said you wasn't gonna pay for.
Okay. That's true. That's true.
I'm
They just don't want to express it because they niggas are
Men be bitter because those are the ones who know that they really ain't shit.
Yep.
Because if he knows he can provide for his children, if he has
They
confidence, self-esteem, he's not gonna be giving you a hard time. And if that woman has confidence,
Give her a hard time.
self-esteem, if that's where the balance comes from. Two people who just don't care, who just is mature.
They only be
That's
mad
what
when
it
they
is,
been
I'm
trying
telling
to
y'all.
manipulate you the whole time.
I genuinely lived it. I done
But
seen it in
women
movies.
is more understandable.
I done seen it through other people. I literally lived that. It is a complete imbalance if everybody's not on one accord. I've only dated 2 dudes with children, in my life because I'd rather deal with a person that don't got children. I don't want to go.
You rather deal with somebody with no kids?
Yes, I'd rather deal with a nigga with no kids.
With kids.
I mean, with kids has been good because I love all the kids. You know
No,
what
I'm
I'm
just saying,
saying?
if you had kids, would you not want a man without kids?
That's my circumstance, and I mean, obviously,
So
my life is set now, so I'm content. But before,
You got married?
before I got married, when I was dating, I preferred it with no kids. And if you think about it, throughout our years and the people that I dated with, we've been friends for a really long time. The only person that ever had children was my kid's father, and at the time of,
Yeah.
after that, that's my. I dated one more person with children, which was my husband. That was it. I preferred to date niggas.
I mean, it's
I have my
understandable, but I do like a man with at least one. I want a man who's experienced.
Or with
I want
her-
experience.
I just don't want to deal with nobody's baby mama. I don't got time for this type of stuff.
Care for other
Oh
things.
yeah,
I need to see
he's
how he
nurturing.
pours into other
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's why you take your time. If I already have children and I'm with a guy that don't got children, you inch into things. Y'all get to know each other. Eventually, he probably will come around your children.
No parent, though.
That's true, but I just feel like everybody's different. I really feel like people are different, and if he doesn't have children, but I do. That's why you gotta take time. People screw up because they don't take the time to really get to know a person. And all of
Go
their
deep in
seasons.
that. Go deep in that.
No, for real. That's really what it is. People don't pay
What the
attention.
fellas said with no
to that.
kids?
So you saying what is that her?
No, what I'm saying is that people just get caught up. Like, oh my gosh, she makes me feel good this
So
way or that
people
way.
ain't controlling
But when you
they-
around him
they
when he was
image, they
mad,
box.
when you was around him when he was sad, when you around him when he got into his baby mama, did he call her a bitch or was he like, okay, let me walk away because she's getting roughed up? Like all that stuff makes a difference. It really does. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, I don't do nothing to hurt nobody. I do know that I'm smart. I do know that I'm a natural leader. I do know that I know
I
how
didn't
to
know
be
you
a
were
woman.
smart.
Because I know that I'm smart.
Who told you you were smart? Yourself?
Myself, my family, the schools,
Me.
my marriage certificate, the fact that everybody got on board because of me, because I'm not having that shit. I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I want to get along. We a family. We're going to be a family. We're not going to fight and go back and forth. We're not going to be another statistic. I got 3 sons that I'm really genuinely trying to raise to be good men in today's cold world. The odds are against y'all. I'm sorry for all my little brown brothers, uncles, fathers, and all of that, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm going to continue to plant my seed. I don't have time to be getting into it with you because you mad because you still in your feelings. My personal situation wasn't a situation of her still being in her feelings or him or whatever. It's a situation of jealousy. You're not used to this quality or this vibration of a woman coming through with this structure. We're not going to go through this with these babies involved. Our kids are siblings now. Your baby daddy's my husband now. We got the same, we in a blended family. We're going to raise our kids, we're going to get along, we're going to support each other. For real, we're going to support each other.
It's going to take more black men and women being just like that to progress us in the
And
community.
it's a very
Because when
small
we talk about unity and us getting on the same page and us getting on one accord as a community, then we're going to need people to be like, we're not going to keep up the drama. We're going to
I believe it
progress.
starts
We're
with our
gonna
men.
set
They got to
goals.
step
We're
up a
gonna
little
ratio.
more. The
Do you feel
commonality
like-
here is you, because
Do
you
you feel
nigga.
like that's
The
what
man.
happened with our men? Do you feel like that it's going to be easy for someone to change? Who's
No.
been
I don't
that
think-
way for
it's
I don't
30,
think
40
nobody
years.
can change.
I don't think anything in life is easy, but I do believe that marriage has always been a steady thing in the black community, and I know so many black people that are married. I know black people who have been divorced. I know people who have children out of wedlock, but I know a lot of people who are married, and I know a lot of people that are happy. I know a lot of people that are starting families. So for the media to be pushing this narrative like we are not becoming united and we're not coming back together, if that's not the case, then why are they making it so hard for us to buy homes and land and to grow and be industrious as black people as a community? Because we doing this shit. Because we doing that thing. Like if we weren't doing it, then they wouldn't be trying to push this narrative on us. Like,
Oh, who's they? You can't say
I don't know
they.
that
You can't say
Your
they
man, the
on
U.S.
this
Census
platform.
look
Flip
at
it
the
every day.
stats,
The
we are
government,
at the
You
bottom
said
of
that
everything. We're
specific, it's a
selling
little-
the bottom of
Could you
everything.
hush?
That's
Hush.
All I'm saying is, I hear you saying that we're coming together, we're doing it, but a lot of the women who are doing it are single entrepreneur women. But a lot of them, I see a lot of women who are single, but a lot of the strong boss type women, they are single. Their careers first. Like, I look at a lot of women like, I know this is off because I had a point with this, but to back up what I'm saying, I look at women like Ashanti or like Mary J. Blige or
I don't look up to them celebrities. We can't.
I don't look up to
we
them,
only
but
know
they
what
are women
show
who
us.
are very
I know Lauren Hill's a
I
Gemini.
look at Oprah.
Lauren Hill's a Gemini. We've been downgrade Gemini.
Those like the women that are
I believe in
the
zodiac
odds
signs.
with, I mean,
Multiple children and multiple baby daddies.
I mean, they're like that generational wealth that we really need.
But when you look
We
at
need the
those
generational
Well, I
wealth.
think
I'm
they're
sure.
on that level, not a lot of them are married.
like there are a lot of women
Right,
like
it's supposed to be more.
Michelle Obama and people who are.
She's not no.
But
I
she
understand what you're
is.
saying, though. I
Listen,
see what you're saying,
she
though. She's a
put
good
her whole
influence,
education on the hold for Barack's presidency. She was in school to get her doctorate.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
paused
for sure,
that
for sure.
before his presidency so she could be beside him and support him. So I do think it's one of those
I think
things
she did
that
right.
we gotta talk about in our community and work on, because that whole I need submission and I need a meek woman and a woman who can't work and who can't be industrious. Like, if you really feel like you can't have a powerful woman who is doing good things, who is changing the world, then you're not that type of protector. You're not that type of provider. You cannot tell a woman to dim her shine or fit herself into a box
Yeah.
just so she can be provided for and protected for.
Yeah.
Because I'm that type of woman, and I talk to men all the time who tell me I'm a scare men away or nobody's gonna want to do this and that and the third. I'm like, who are you to tell me what I can attract? I attract high vibrational gods over here. These men that want to provide. These men that want to be here for me. These men that want to come to my business. You want me to set up some tables, babe? You want me to move these chairs, babe? Like, what are you saying? Like, these powerful women, they do need love. So I really hate that became a thing in like the 50s and 60s. Like, women telling other women, oh, if you pursue a business career, you choose to have a profession, you're gonna be a spinster. You're gonna be a cat lady. You're not gonna have a family. Why can't I have it all?
Right, and like you were saying, my original point was when you said that we are doing it, we coming together. When I look at the statistics, it doesn't reflect that, I guess. And then honestly, when I talk to a lot of men or women, they don't know like nothing. They know stuff, but they don't, and they don't apply it. They know
Today
they're not
they don't.
applying it.
Like-
But I don't want to be negative on them. But all I'm saying is, if you look at the stats, we're not excelling in nothing.
We're
Nothing.
not. We gotta be. I mean,
Black
I feel like
black
we come a
women
long
are the
way.
highest to be educated, but I'm talking about financially.
But
I'm
we
talking about
definitely-
land ownership.
But we gotta
Generational wealth.
talk about the laws
How
too.
many
Like,
teachers?
we're not
How many black teachers?
The
we have
undocumented stuff,
doctors.
period.
we've been blackballed.
I understand
Absolutely.
the system. I understand
So
the system.
it's
but
not. So when I look at Black excellence and I do, when I look into the lives of people who are doing wonderful things for the Black community, I don't look at the statistics like, oh, how much money did the banks give them, or what did they do, and how did they. I look at the things that they contributed to their community and how they really are as people, because you never know what odds they fight against. You never know what the system put in place for them to not be able to excel. Black excellence cannot be measured by European standards, not the beauty, not the money, nor the education, because we don't excel. We don't strive to excel in the same ways that they do.
Yep.
But I'm talking
I
about,
agree.
let's say, doctors. We need doctors. We need
We do.
engineers. We
We
need
do.
all of that, and we are not excelling in those things. If you go out in here, you don't hear a lot of black men saying that they want to be an engineer. A lot of them want to be rappers or athletes.
Well,
You don't really hear
I
it
know
today.
a lot of illustrious Black men.
I know
went
nowadays
to
they
a-
wanna be-
I
I went to
feel
HBCU.
like it's not taught. I feel
went
like
to
it's
HBCU.
not it's not being passed down. I feel like we just and when we do have it, it's not easy. It's not exposed. I feel like there are black people out here that
I
we
see
have
we're
to fight
doing good.
10
I
times
see that,
harder
but
no
I
matter
don't think
what.
that we are taught to be these things. That's all I'm saying.
We are not taught.
We're doing great. We understand we need land. We understand like that's something easy.
But
I
why
mean,
are
you
we
have to
accomplishing it though? Like what's holding
If
us back?
each
Why
one
aren't we
keeps
trying
running
to
and we
land?
all set a
We
plan and we
did
work
this
towards
shit
it, we can
before.
get there. And I think that's really what it boils down to, because you're seeing a lot more. Like, y'all know your social media, your timelines that you look at, it's all based off of the algorithm, based off of what you interact with, what you see, what you like, whatever the case may be. When I hear people talking about their Facebooks are depressing because people are talking about drama or they're talking about low vibrational things, I'm like, that's what you're drawn to.
Yep.
That's what you interact with. That's what you see. And I
Yep.
feel the same way about the black
That's what you
community.
follow.
I know so many black women that own businesses. I know so many. I went to an HBCU where everybody there was a black person. Not everybody there were white people and Japanese. You know, we were pretty well mixed at K-State. But there were I remember when I first got to K-State, I literally was like, dang, this is a fine nigga buffet. Like, I ain't never seen so many black men that have goals, that are athletes, that, you know, starting clothing lines. Like, whatever their hustle was, they all had a hustle. They all had a dream. They all had a drive. And because I started my early life like that, I feel like that's what I've always drawn towards me. I've always been in a room with black excellence. I've always been around people who have degrees and who are excelling and doing better for themselves. So it's like they can get ratchet on the weekends and go do their 9 to 5 and they still knocking it out the park. So as a community, like if we keep talking down on ourselves and keep ignoring the fact that there are people fighting tooth and nail to pull us up as a community, then we're going to continue to sit in the slum. We have to acknowledge the people, like the fact that OBI put this
definitely
together.
acknowledge. Me personally, I acknowledge the good. I acknowledge all of that, but as a whole, I don't really see. I see it here and there. It's like, but it's not like a whole community of people standing up straight, walking together, hand in hand in unity. I don't see that. I see everybody at this point. Everybody's selfish, and every man is for themselves. I don't see
human nature across the board.
I agree with that, but I'm talking as far as community. I don't see that we have like community days. We don't have community, strong community things.
And when we do, we just can't get it right. But that's definitely a disconnect. But I just feel like continue to put your things.
I'm gonna end it with saying this though. What you saying that not raising the community? I'll just say this. Maybe we're starting to wake up. We've had Malcolm X who try to wake us up. We've had a lot of people who try to wake us up. But I'm thinking now, with a lot of us communicating, us shedding light from one another, we will see within the next 10 years, maybe we will progress. Maybe now that a lot of us, like I say, waking up, I'm going to just give it some time for us to just progress and be walking up straight.
Yeah.
So, I want to thank everyone who listened to us, ladies, just talk about womanhood, motherhood, black community, our love for our people. My name is Vanessa, XIX.
Shalise, Pretty Martin.
Kendra Rochelle. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram.
And this is Melanated Television. Thank you for tuning in.
Give these ladies a round of applause. We're going straight to. Did anybody have questions or anything like that today, T-shirt? Before we.
Hey, I just want to know what's your beef with rappers?
With me? I don't have a beef with rappers, but I think that, okay, so I understand that at a point in time we weren't able to get in certain avenues to be more than just entertainers, because I think a lot of that started off with just being an entertainer for white society. But I think we need more people who want to be intellectual and work with their hands and their minds and create true generational wealth, because most of the people who
That's how hip hop started though.
Hip-hop
But what are we teaching? What are we passing down?
changed.
I'm saying, but that's
the climate has
mainstream.
changed,
That's
and
mainstream though.
I think people has abused hip hop, and I think
For sure, it does not have substance
it's okay
anymore.
it's okay to have that, but
It don't.
we need to be multi-dimensional. We need to be everything.
But that's a different. We got hip hop and we got rap.
And nowadays, a lot of these rappers
It is
suck. Oh my
different.
gosh, like the new generation sucks. I understand when they used like Lauryn Hill.
No,
I understand
like
when they was actually
got no
rapping
love.
about something, because then they would have no choice to profit off of positive things. But now rap is turning just so negative and dark.
Can I ask you something real quick? 'Cause
That's
obviously
my issue.
you're a
Oh, for
rapper.
sure. Yeah, I'm here for
Obviously
it.
you're okay.
Yeah,
What do
absolutely.
you think about today's rappers? The new generation of rappers, the last, how old are you?
I'm 32 years old.
Okay, so what do you think about today's generation of rappers, these last 7 to 10 years? What do you think?
And the little
I'm
Lil Durk
saying,
and
Asian
the Babies
dolls.
and the Kodaks and the
I don't get
Yachty.
into it.
vibration
I-
rappers.
You don't get into the politics.
But I don't. That's what I'm saying though. Like you got rap, you got hip hop, you got mainstream, you got underground. You do have a set of artists that's actually out here. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, cause
For
you got
sure.
like I'm gonna use my city for example. You know what I'm saying? I know we in Kentucky, but I'm gonna use my city for example. You got North Carolina, you got the Baby, and then you got the J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself is just like a whole the view of hip hop.
180.
Yeah, like you feel me? Like you can't and then you know what I'm saying? J. Cole can hop on the track with Money Bag, and so can the baby. You feel me? But at the same time, like everybody ain't for everybody and you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just felt some type of way. I heard you a few times hit me with the and they want to be rappers, and I'm like, well, damn.
That is a common thing, but they
I
want
don't
to be
think
gang
nothing's
banging
wrong
rappers.
with-
They want to gang bang. They want to talk about drugs. They want to promote messing with her and her sister. They want to promote baby. Like that is, there's no
And I don't
substance
think
to that.
nothing's wrong
I
with
don't
that,
want
but
my children
also
repeating
not
those
everybody
words.
makes
I'm
it
not teaching them that
successfully. Like, don't put your dreams in one thing, because I know too many people who's trying to become singers, rappers, and people who can sing their ass off. And I don't
Facts.
try to be discouraging, because
Facts.
somebody may want to go to law school and fail that. So you may be chasing a dream, but make sure you really have.
I don't know. I just that was
Nothing
just
to be a rapper.
that was just my that was just my observation from the show. I mean, I caught other things in the show, but I
But
did.
I don't think
you know
that
what I'm
rap, like I said, I don't even think it's good enough to even. I wouldn't want, because the influence is degraded. It's just bad.
Yeah,
What we
feel
get
like-
promote, what we
Like, I
get
know
noticed
how to
for is
do
fucking the hoes, selling the drugs,
like
and
Rhapsody.
broken
I heard
households.
of Rhapsody. You know what I'm saying? She's good, but ain't too many Rhapsodies out here.
But I said
I think there's more. I think there's
me
better quality
personally-
in local talent.
Me personally,
than
I
our
lead
nation.
by example. So as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know my mission. We talked about all that already. You feel me? So I don't know. I can't now. I ain't finna start picking out artists and bashing them one by one. You feel me? Because, you know, I got my own lane. I do my own thing. I just feel like, I don't think, me personally, because the way that I use hip hop, the way that I use rap, or however you want to swing it, I don't feel like, because it's an avenue of, like, for me, it's a platform for me to teach. You know what I'm saying? I can do my ratchet shit, you feel me? But at the same time, like, everybody know what I'm doing it for. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna go to my YouTube, you might see me do some weird, crazy stuff on YouTube. But at the same time, if anybody going to my Spotify's, my iTunes, any of that, all of my music has everything that I do, it's a purpose behind it. It's a story behind it. I be having emotional attachment to my music. You know what I'm saying? And not every artist is an artist. You feel me? Like most of these artists ain't even writing their own shit.
Right.
And then for that matter, they not living it. They not. You feel me? So I feel like I can't. Only reason I'm saying something about it is because I feel like it's kind of messed up to say. It's messed up for somebody to want to be a rapper, because it's the person, like, you kind of have to let them know and distinguish the youth, and before they start listening, that this ain't really what it is. Like, it's like a reality TV show. Every rapper ain't really living this life that they rapping about. You know what I'm saying? So I just that was just an observation. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay,
Any
look,
more
y'all.
questions for the audience?
Any questions?
No, I think
Okay, look, before we go, I would say this. I believe that there's more local talent, there's better quality in local talent. I don't know if you heard me, sweetie. There's better quality in local talent than there is mainstream talent. I be hearing you do your thing. Sir, I'm sorry, I don't know your name right now, but I be hearing you.
Miss the next
And
time.
I'm gonna check you out too. So, you know, just to feel better, because that's true. I feel where you was coming from.
I want to be a singer, so ain't nothing wrong. But I want to sing. But I want to do a lot of things. I definitely could be ratchet, but that's not what I want to put myself out. But we are doing a pussy talks. We are doing something called pussy talks. So.
Yeah! Promote that shit! What we doing? Let me know.
An orgasm round table talk, so we can talk about these 11 orgasms that women's bodies are capable of having. Y'all make sure y'all come out and support us. Thank y'all for joining us for Melanated Television.
Thank you.
Thank you.